we've gotten really loose and easy with words like now and then and here and there. So I want to just say, first of all, I'm really glad to be here. I'm really glad you're there, even though I don't even know where there is. And I'm imagining you're all here with me in this beautiful studio at Q Division. And now is maybe 5 days, 7 days, 2 weeks, a month, who knows, before when you are considering this now to be now. But I am so happy to be here. You have no idea, and let's just use here as here. Wherever you are, that's what I'm talking about. But at the moment, I'm on the cusp of playing some music for you. I think you might be in your living room, I don't know. This feels like a living room with these gorgeous rugs and lovely, interesting lamps. So I'm feeling quite at home here. Before I play some music for you, I just want to thank a few people and then give you a little context for what I'm going to be doing today. Thank you to Mandorla Music and Mark Redmond, who's right over there, behind a glass wall with a mask on, and for co-hosting this and putting this on with Magdalena Abrego from Input Output magazine. And I really thank you both for asking me to do a concert here. Even the term concert is something we've shifted. Everything has shifted in the last year in ways we could never have imagined. But this to me feels like a concert. I feel you all there. I have to say this is the first time I've played a solo concert in quite a long time. And I'm really happy for the opportunity. I'm going to play for you some old songs, and I'm going to play for you some brand new songs, and I'll tell you a little bit about them before I play each one. But first, thank you also to Rafi and Roksi from Q Division, who are making this look and sound really beautiful. I'm going to start with an old song. Oh gosh, how many years? I think probably 2006, I want to say, I wrote the song for a friend of mine that passed away in the water. And it was right around the time that I got this violin on tour with Sleepytime Gorilla Museum, found it in a little store. And I was just charmed by it, and of course left it there, because one thing you don't have on tour is a whole bunch of cash on hand, if it's that kind of tour anyway. And I mentioned it to my parents, and they actually found it and got it for me for my birthday that year. And I ended up stringing it up with all E strings. So this is what I fondly refer to as my E string violin, and what I'm going to play for you now is the first piece I wrote on it. And it really felt like my intention with this song to honor my friend, Lauren Lipkin, and this instrument really came together in a musically unprecedented way for me, and gave me a whole different kind of textural vocabulary. So this is a song that I used to play with my band 2 Foot Yard, and I play it for you now solo, and then I'll tell you what's next. For those of you that are curious, I currently have it tuned to G sharp, B, E, and D sharp. So, E strings all, but only one of them tuned there. I That's it for this one-trick pony. I'm just going to imagine like the old-fashioned like clap track and the laugh track lighting up in the corner. Maybe a combination clap laugh. Let me take a drink of water. What's next? Oh, goodness. I'm going to play a song, a newer song now. And grab a different instrument. This one is called Without Us. I'm sorry, I'm kind of bringing you some fairly dark material today, but it's been a fairly dark year, hasn't it? Right? So if we can't shake our hands, turn around and shake hands with the darkness, then we're all really lost. So I suppose music is my way of doing that and finding some joy in it, because I do get a huge amount of joy of putting these bits of light and darkness together. So I was really gratified to have the opportunity to participate in yet another reimagined, reinvented format this last year. And that is the gala, right? Where people pay $1,000 a plate for some rubber chicken and then open their wallets and give lots of money to arts organizations and such. Well, we love the former part of that, the rubber chicken not so much, but the Long Beach Opera took this idea and being the nimble and forward-thinking and open-minded and creative organization that they are, they decided to totally reinvent it for quarantine times. And what they did was they invited their supporters and their donors to instead of buying some overpriced chicken, they invited them to commission new works from new composers that the Long Beach Opera had not previously worked with. So to widen both the access to their platform to different kinds of people, but also to widen their own scope creatively and socially and culturally. And I was lucky enough to be one of those composers. So they created something called the 2020 Songbook, where 20 composers created songs or new works that in some way dealt with the crazy events of 2020. And I chose it first. First of all, thank you to Raleigh Marcus and Stephen Block, who really generously commissioned this piece I'm about to play for you. And I chose to work with a silence that I found just stunning, just absolutely beautiful in the first few months of quarantine, where it was really shut down. I mean, do you remember that? I mean, we're still shut down, but you know, we've brought a little more normalcy to our lives now than were in those first few months. But I was really profoundly moved by the silence of what it sounded like for all the engines and all the machines and all the motors and all the cars that drive by our road, just to be silenced. And the coyotes started taking over the golf course every night, and the birds were extraordinary. The ocean felt different. I live right by the sea in Woods Hole on Cape Cod. And they actually had reports that seismologists were actually noticing an actually tangible lessening of vibrations in the Earth's core because of all our darn machines shut down. So I started writing about that, and then of course other kinds of silence came into play. The silence of boredom. Silence is like snow. There's a million different kinds of silence, and they should all have different names. But I mean, you start with just the silence of breath, the silence of boredom, the silence of sleep, the silence of complicity. Of course, while this is all happening, the Black Lives Matter movement was gaining lots of momentum, and the question of what have we made have we made a big enough deal of things that we need to look at culturally? The silence of complicity is a big one. But there's a million kinds of silence, and so this song is really about all of them, or at least a few of them. It's called Without Us, and it's inspired in part by Alan Weissman's book called The World Without Us, in which he imagines what would happen when humanity's entirely gone. And it sounds dark again, but it's actually quite a beautiful book. Okay. Forgive me, I'm going to have to turn my page in the middle of this. So, have it ready. It's so quiet, unbelievable, the sound of the world without us. I hold my breath, I can feel the stillness in my bones, awkward, peaceful, a comfort like death. All right, what's next? Well, let me see. I actually want to share with you a quotation I've been thinking a lot about, that I come back to a lot. One of my favorite writers and thinkers and just literary figures is the Argentinian poet and writer Jorge Luis Borges. And every once in a while I listen to his lectures. He did a series of lectures, three Norton lectures. And there's one called The Poet's Creed. And one of the first things he says is, really, I think of myself as being essentially a reader. I think that what I have read is, of course, far more important than what I've written. For one reads what one likes, and one writes not what one would like to write, but what one is able to write. I thought that from someone who was so prolific and such a revered writer, for him to come up on stage and be like, I dabbled in some writing, but really my life's work has been to read. I just thought that was so beautiful, and also just that feeling of like what we do, how we spin our own spider thread, our own, whatever you want to call it, the whatever strange lace each artist and human makes. You almost can't help what you make. And doing a solo concert is really like coming face to face with that in a really interesting way. I'm very much a collaborator and very much of course, a listener to all kinds of music, which I'm sure you guys out there are too. If you're here, you're probably a musical omnivore. And just how important it is to be a good listener. And how in some ways it's worth placing that on at least an equal pedestal to being a committed creator. But I've really kind of enjoyed working on these solo pieces because I really feel like I can't help but write this. This is what I write. It's my own strange voice, my own strange thoughts and strange head and strange sense of harmony that I think I've kind of had since I was a little kid. So it's really fun for me to have a format to really look at that, unmitigated by other voices, by other people that I play with. Moving on. We're going to get now to the brand spanking new stuff. And this is so brand spanking new that it's not finished. So bear with me. If you have a copy of the wonderful book, you won't be surprised to know, dark little book called The Gashly Crumb Tinies, or subtitled After the Outing, by Edward Gorey. If you happen to have that somewhere on your shelf, go get it now. When Mark and Magdalena asked me to do this concert, I said yes, not sure what I would actually fill it with, and then I decided on doing a bunch of miniatures. I come back to the miniature as a form that I truly love. I'm working in longer forms now in general, but I just always come back to the miniature. There's something so satisfying about writing tiny, tiny crystalline things. So the Gashly Crumb Tinies is a little book. I have it here, actually. I'll show it to you. Tiny, right? It's a tiny book. You can fit it in one hand. And it's an alphabet book, and it really is an alphabet book for children. But on it, you might notice, is a very grim figure, a reaper-like figure, with 26 little children under his umbrella. Those are the 26 children who die in this book. And like I said, there's something about this moment in time where we had the idea of our doom is a part of our psyche, of our contemporary modern human psyche. We're thinking about what things are going to do us in, from our environmental catastrophes to the weather catastrophes that have resulted to obviously just going to the grocery store and having someone sneeze on you. So it felt very appropriate to grab this little funny, thoughtful, dark book about dying, and play with it and have fun with it. If you don't know it, I'll read you a couple pages. And first of all, I want to thank Gregory Hishak from the Gorey House, which is actually just down the road from me on Cape Cod, who I emailed him and said, "Is it okay that I'm doing this? That I'm taking these pages? What I've done is I've taken every page and used it as a point of departure to write a little musical miniature." And he said, "Of course, we'd be honored. I'm glad you're doing it." So we have the Gorey House's blessing, which I'm very grateful for. And if you happen to be planning any kind of trip to Cape Cod, you should know that if it's still in the future, I'm not sure when now is for you, but if it's still in the future, April 8th, 2021 through the end of their season 2021, they're actually mounting a new exhibit called Hapless Children, Drawings from Mr. Gorey's Neighborhood. So this is very timely for them too. They're focusing on his children. And now I've either lost half my audience, and the other half are really excited. The other Gorey fans are really excited. So I'll give you a little sense. A is for Amy, who fell down the stairs. B is for Basil, assaulted by bears. C is for Clara, who wasted away. D is for Desmond, thrown out of a sleigh. You get the idea? E is for Ernest, who choked on a peach. F is for Fanny, sucked dry by a leech. G is for George, smothered under a rug. H is for Hector, done in by a thug. And it goes on. I'm still partway through with this project. I don't have all 26 for you today, sadly. I think I skip a few and I go and I end really awkwardly. As the children come to an untimely demise, this piece will also come to an untimely demise. For today's version, I think we're ending with X is for Xerxes, devoured by mice. And I'm skipping a few before that. So, but I thought that it might be fun to see a little peek under the hood of this work in progress. What it will become after this, once I'm finished writing the miniatures, is that I believe that I'm going to be working with a wonderful organization in Milwaukee called Present Music, a contemporary music ensemble, to actually set these as a little kind of 26-part miniature concerto for small ensemble. Any? So enjoy this kind of proto version of these little pieces. Some of them are improvised, some of them are written, some of them are half and half, some of them are just ideas of what they might become. But here, I'm not even going to tell you which ones are which. It's not important. I'm hoping the music stands on its own. But if you do have the book, the first bunch of them are actually in order. So enjoy them. Okay. We'll start with stairs, go to bears, and we go to wasted away, and then we go to the sleigh, and then you're on your own. Okay. Goodness. Here we go. Wish me luck. I know where I'll hide. I know where I'll hide. Here under the rock, the rock, the rock will hide me like an ocean. 17, 18, 19. It's so dark. Here I'll come. It's so dark. So dark. So very dark. This one's for lumpiness, this one's for flu. This one's for you don't know what to do. This one will let you feel what it would be to float up above the world. Drink it, you'll see. This one, it tastes like a fish in the sea. This one, it smells a little like pee. This one, I really don't know what it does. The only word to tell is to drink it, I'll see. And as I said, the piece would end, unfortunately, so abruptly. in the true end of the piece, Zelda, I believe, gets to have a throwdown tea party with too much gin. But I haven't written that one yet. So, whew. Hold on. I would like to play one or two more. Do we have timekeepers on board? Can tell me something about the clockable minutes and moments that have elapsed.
That's good 45 minutes.
What's that?
I think it's been at least 45 minutes.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Awesome. Should I do one more or should we call it?
All right, one more, please.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
I don't mind at all. I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna do another oldie but goodie, right? And I would truly like to have retroactively have dedicated this whole moment to my old friend Julia Eisenberg, who passed just a few days ago. Julia was a force, just an absolute force of music and nature and passion and joy. And I was lucky enough to be in a band with her, one version of a band that she held through her adult life in many different forms, called Charming Hostess. And my experience in Charming Hostess truly changed who I am as a musician. And as I write these Gashly Crumb Tinies, and as I write music in general, I feel the influence of and the mark of her passion and power and creative energy and methods even. She would come in to rehearsals with these little bits of paper, not unlike what I have here. These, right? She would come in to rehearsal with these little pieces of paper with dots, no stems mostly, just dots representing the notes, and even smaller lyrics, and which was a problem only because a lot of them were in foreign languages, in Ladino and Romanian and Hungarian, and so Charming Hostess, in the iteration of the band that I was in, was 3 singers. She was dedicated her creative life to women's vocal music, and a lot of Eastern European influence, a lot of influence from music from the Jewish diaspora. So a lot of it was in Ladino. I learned so many beautiful songs with Julia, and she would come in with a Casio, a little tiny Casio, and these pieces of paper. And from that, I tell you, we would pull the most extraordinary songs, which she had in her head all along, and had these visions, and she just she used her time and materials and energy and friendships and in a way that I think really changed how I thought about myself as a musician and how I thought about the purpose of music in my community. So for that, I really will always be kind of grateful and marked in the best way by my time with Julia. So I'm going to play a song called Hush Hush. Seems like silence and death seem to be on my mind at the moment. This is an old song that I wrote for Rabbit Rabbit Radio, which is a band that I have with Matthias Bossi and Jeremy Flower and John Evans. This was from our first album many years ago. And the violin part comes in some way is influenced by my friend Nils Frykdahl, who I was in Sleepytime Gorilla Museum, another band with for many years, and the way that he put his chords together on the guitar and how you can play these big, thick, amazing chords on the guitar. I always felt very jealous. So this was my attempt to pull that into the world of the violin. Hush, hush. Thank you so much all for being such a good audience. The colors here have all but gone. Hush, hush. Everyone is hush, hush. The crickets sound a tintinnabulation of urgent alarms. Hush, hush, calm yourself. Time will make this mountain move. The walls of this house here, things we don't dare say, each peculiar thought I weave settles in the corner. Everything we say gathers in the eaves. Every look you send my way hovers in the rafters, and it all rains down. It all rains down. It all rains The bones of this